guest. Our next guest is Congressman Rob Wittman. He's a great American patriot, a friend, and I really love this congressman because not only is he one of the greatest American patriot leaders today, but he's also a friend. And time again, I see how he loves America. He loves the Commonwealth of Virginia. He fights for us every single day. He serves us with honor, and he's also on the Committee on Armed Services. We're going to hear about what that is and what interesting votes are coming up that affect all of us. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Martha. It's great to be with you this morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. I was hoping you could tell us all a little bit about the Committee on Armed Services, what it is, and what issues you're facing now on the committee that affect us all.
Absolutely, Martha. Well, the Armed Services Committee is the single committee that's in charge of keeping our military well-positioned to defend this nation. And it sets the policy for our military. It also authorizes the resources that are necessary for the military to do the things that it's required to do. And this has been a very, very important week for the Armed Services Committee because the marquee bill each year for the House Armed Services Committee is called the National Defense Authorization Act, and that's essentially the blueprint for the nation's military and what we will do in providing for our men and women that serve, whether it's building ships or building aircraft or providing dollars for training. It is the comprehensive bill that provides for our nation's military, and it's a critical piece of legislation in that it provides, I believe, the single point where the nation sees what the commitment is for our military, and our military members see what's the commitment the nation's making to them to make sure that we provide for them the things that are necessary. So it is absolutely critical. And as you know, through the past now 8 years, we have been dealing with the provision called the sequester, which puts these draconian cuts onto the military. And during the Obama administration, there was a slashing of the defense budget by 20%. What we've done in the last several sessions of Congress is working very hard to rebuild military budgets and to rebuild the readiness that was lost based on those cuts from years ago. And it's been a struggle to be able to do that. But for the last several years, we've been successful in putting those dollars back in. The president proposed increasing the defense budget to $750 billion this year. And that's the place where we think it's necessary to be. Even Secretary Jim Mattis, the former Secretary of Defense, said that we need a 3 to 5% annual increase in defense funding to make sure that we are keeping up with the threats that we face around the world. So the president's budget, I think, reflects that. The Senate passed a bipartisan authorization at $750 billion, where 86 of the 100 senators voted in favor of that. Now, on the House side, that's not happening. Unfortunately, this has become a very partisan process where the Democrats in the House have actually reduced that number down to $733 billion. There's other very, very problematic elements, the National Defense Authorization Act, which we have been debating the last several days, provisions in there that take away our ability to use in all the ways necessary low-yield nuclear weapons. And those things are absolutely critical for us to counter what our adversaries are doing. It also doesn't allow for funding of critical elements of homeland security, very specifically the wall. It also closes Gitmo, so and it provides for those Gitmo detainees to come to the United States to be detained, which we are in adamant disagreement with. So there are a number of provisions in the bill, and as it exists today, there's just no way that I can vote in favor of it. And I have voted in favor, Martha, of every National Defense Authorization Act since I've been in Congress, and that's under administrations from both parties. But this bill has just become so partisan, and walking away in such an opposite direction from our obligations to this nation. There's just no way that I can support it.
Well, I'm a huge fan of Congressman Rob Wittman. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You represent the Fighting First Congressional District in the Commonwealth of Virginia, my home sweet home. And thank you so much for sharing with everyone today about this critical vote and about the great work you do representing the great Commonwealth of Virginia and working so hard fighting for us all across our country.
Well, Martha, I appreciate that.